Hey guys, it's Melissa here from Reiki with Melissa. Today I wanted to talk to you about life purpose. We hear all the time people saying that they know their life's purpose is this or that or something else, but a lot of people don't really know what their purpose in life is. Does this sound familiar to you? You go to a job every day and you're looking at the clock constantly, waiting until it's time to leave. And you're constantly looking for things to look forward to so that you have the next day off. And basically, it's the same thing day in, day out, and there's no passion there whatsoever. You just go there because you need a paycheck. How many of you, when I say that, go, yeah, that's me? I don't know about you, but I have definitely lived that life. When I had my first job, right out of college, I got a job as a finance manager. I mean, I made it up pretty far for my age, considering that it was my first job right after college. I didn't start off as the finance manager. I got an entry-level job and kind of moved my way up. And it was a small company, I will say that. But I hated that job, like every second of that job. Every day felt like a chore. I would get up, go to work, and try to make myself as busy as possible so that that day would go by faster, that I could finally go home. And we maybe got 2 or 3 holidays off a year in that job. And to say that I wish to not be there is an understatement. I felt like I worked there for 20 years. And I don't even know that it was a full year that I worked there, maybe right at a year. It was miserable. And I did not understand what my purpose was or why I was there. I knew I was trying to keep the finances straight for the owners to make money, but I didn't have any real purpose for being there for myself other than making money. There was nothing in it for me. I didn't feel vested in this company, and I certainly didn't really care. I was checked out. My body was there, my brain and my heart were not. I just did not enjoy the job. And so many people, maybe it's not as bad for them, but they'll say that they go to work just to get a paycheck. They don't really enjoy the job. It's not really fulfilling for them. There's not really anything emotionally for them there. They're not vested in it. And I hear that so often. That is so common that people don't like their jobs. It's understandable because the way that our system works, you're supposed to figure out what you want to do with the rest of your life when you're 18, which is ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. At 18 years old, I was just a huge mess. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And when I went to college and they said, oh, you'll figure it out in college, I didn't figure it out in college. I thought I had because an advisor had ushered me into a career they thought I could use the German that I loved. I didn't like what I did. And in fact, my first attempt at college, I passed, I got a degree, but it was just an absolute mess. It was just a hodgepodge of all kinds of things. I didn't have any real focus. I got my undergrad, I started off as a major in psychology and got halfway through that program. So I was a psych major, and I ended up taking German because I had to drop a class. And my advisor said, well, you need an elective. Why don't you take German? You've had it in high school and it should be easy. So I obliged. I really didn't even want to take German anymore. I just took it because she told me that I should. And this is a true example of letting other people pick your lives for you. A lot of young people do that too, instead of knowing what they want and doing what they want. And, we'll talk more about that too in a little bit. You taking your power back and doing what you want to do, not what others think you should do or tell you what to do. But I was that kid who did whatever people told me I should do. So I took German. I actually absolutely loved it. And it was mostly because of the professor that I had, who was absolutely phenomenal and just made me want to keep taking the class because it was fun. So I was taking all of my psych classes and my German classes. And about I guess my junior year, my advisor says to me, what are you going to do with German? Like, you have a minor already now at this point. You going to do something with it? And I was like, I don't know, I guess. What can I do with it? I don't really need to use it in psychology necessarily. And then I continued taking psych classes, and I got to statistical psych and hated it. And some of the people that I talked to were like, oh, well, if you get a degree in psychology, you're going to have a hard time finding a job. And they scared me half to death. So I switched my major again, letting other people tell me or decide for me what I should do instead of just going with my gut. So I switched my major from psychology to, as my advisor suggested, business, because I could use German with business, and I could go into international business, and I could be a translator for companies. So that's what I was headed to do. And like I said, my courses, if you look at my records for my undergrad degree, it is just a crazy mess. It's like, okay, 1 year you're this, 1 year you're this, you're just all over the place. Couldn't decide what I wanted to do, right? So I looked for jobs after college, and all of the jobs where they wanted you to have a language, they were not in the area where I lived, right? You had to go to New York City. Well, this little scaredy cat would not have ever done that, okay? I was not the person that I am today, and I definitely was afraid to do that. So that wouldn't work out for me. So I ended up with this other job that I super hated. And it wasn't until after I had my kids that I went back to teaching, because I did not want to go back to the career that I had. And while it was scary to go back and to redo things, and really I didn't have to start totally over since I already had a degree. I just had to add to it. So really it was just making adjustments. And a few years of making adjustments, going back, getting my certification, I had my degree. And I actually found something I had a passion for. I had a passion for teaching kids, making connections with them, making a difference for them. And it actually is the experience that I've had in this career that led me to the second career that I've now taken on later on in life, which is to be a healer. And I know that I wouldn't have done that if I hadn't become a teacher, because I think that as teachers, a lot of times, I think a lot of teachers are healers, because naturally we work with children, and I just feel like many of them are empaths at the very least, because they care deeply and have a lot of emotional ties to the outcomes for their students. And so I see that a lot. And I also see that the best teachers have a passion for it. Of course, we all know in any profession there are people that do this profession and you wonder why, and that they really have no business teaching because they don't have a passion for it. And I'm a big believer of when the passion's gone in teaching, you gotta go, because it really, the children are the ones who suffer and who it affects. So that's kind of how I was led to what my passion is. But I have definitely been on the side of the coin of not having a career that I loved, and I know that it's miserable. So I want you to think about your career and what you do. Are you passionate about it? Is it something that you love? And a lot of people will say, I like my job, I don't hate my job. And you know, that's good too. It's good to like your job. Is it your higher purpose? I don't know. I mean, that's what we need to determine. I know that I liked teaching a lot, but it wasn't the ultimate thing that I was supposed to be doing. It was part of it, but I wasn't stepping into my full potential. And I feel like a lot of you are in the same boat. Like maybe you have a job that you love, but there's something more you're supposed to be doing as well. And so some of you may be sitting there thinking, I hate my job, and if I could quit tomorrow, I would. And for those of you, I urge you to pay attention to this. You know, the question, what should I do with my life? What is my passion? What is my life purpose? Those questions are all so super important. And the fact that you probably chose your career when you were 18, as we all do, we get into our career paths. And while I think they're trying to do a better job about opening everyone's eyes as to what their career paths could be when they're in high school, that's still a tough thing. And I still think that it's weird to be that young and have to decide what you want to do for the rest of your life, because we change. And you may have loved one idea when you were 18 and maybe now you're in it and you don't love it anymore. You don't have to stay in something just because you've invested a lot of time in it. And I know that sounds crazy and people will say, yes, but I have retirement. I understand all of that. I truly, truly do. But I also believe that you should live life to the fullest and not be stuck somewhere that you hate or are not passionate about anymore. So how do you figure out what your life purpose is? What should you be doing if you're unhappy where you are? That's the question, right? There are some things you can do to try to tap into what your higher purpose should be, what your life's purpose is. One thing is to think about what it is that you really love to do. For me, I've always loved helping people. And when people come to me and talk to me, and that's a lot of what I do right now with the healing work. I love that. And that is my favorite part, is just to be able to communicate and interact with people and hear their stories and be able to give them advice. I love doing that. And also what comes easily to you. And when I think about that too, that is something that comes easily to me. But for me, I know a big part of it is because I use my intuition and I am getting guidance. When people come to me and say, what should I do? It's not just me giving them information. It's information that I'm getting that I give to them. And I'm able to tell them, this is what I feel. This is what I'm being given that you should be doing, or that this will help. And it's awesome to have people come back to you and say, you helped so much and what you did was amazing. And when you are doing what you love, you should be feeling that. Like you should be feeling amazing about what it is that you're doing. And it's going to feel like it's natural and that you're swimming downstream. When we're in a job we hate, sometimes it's like trying to swim upstream. Every day just feels like a struggle. It's just so difficult and tough, and it's hard to get yourself out of bed every day because you just know you don't want to go to that place and you know you don't want to work there. So this is why it is so important to change that if that's how you're feeling, because nobody should have to live their life in misery. And that's going to affect your personal life too. If you're miserable at work, you're going to come home and you're going to bring some of that with you, and not because you want to, but just it's natural. So ask yourself, what are 2 qualities that you most enjoy expressing in the world? So it could be things like love and joy. What is it that you enjoy expressing? And in what ways do you enjoy expressing these qualities? Do you like inspiring people? Do you like empowering people? Do you like telling people how to save money? Like, what is it? Like finances, that is not my thing. That's not my area. It's not my strong point. I know I told you I had a career in that, but you see, it's not my strong point and I didn't love it. It was like an uphill battle. But for some people, they might love that. So how can you be helping others with your knowledge and with what you know how to do? You could always create a life purpose statement and try to figure out, and some of these pieces of advice I'm telling you, these are things that I've read about from Jack Canfield. He was the one who wrote or helped write the book, The Chicken Soup for the Soul. So create a life purpose. What is your purpose in life? I have one. I have a mission statement outside my classroom. Make one for you. Like, what is your mission statement? What is your life purpose statement? And what is your heart telling you to do? Where is it guiding you? And this is an area where if you rely on your intuition and you tap into your intuition, you can get a lot of guidance here about what you should be doing. But what does your heart tell you? What makes you happy? And then where do you want to go with your vision? Is this something that's going to be small and it's just you go to a job, or do you have a grander vision for your life? What is it? What is that vision, and how will you create that vision? And you need to be very clear about what your life purpose is. So I would urge you to think about what it's like for you now. Imagine for a moment, if you will, that you found out tomorrow, and don't think about the financial aspect, but you find out tomorrow that you lost your job and you don't have to go to it anymore. How would that make you feel, other than the financial portion? Don't worry about that. Would that make you feel happy or sad? Or just, I don't really care? How does it make you feel? And that is a true test of, is that where you're supposed to be? You can also take the passion test. It's a small, 15-question test. My life is ideal, or when my life is ideal, I am. And then the words that you choose to fill in the blank would be a verb. So I'm going to put a link there in the description of this podcast if you want to go and take that. And think about, too, when did you experience the most joy in your life? When was that? And were you doing a particular thing? So let's say, for example, you think to yourself, I was happiest when I was painting as a kid. I loved to paint. Maybe you are meant to do something more artistic. Oftentimes I think we're just afraid that whatever it is we want to do, we're not going to be able to make a living at. And I think most of the time that's probably not true. It's just our own ego getting in the way and saying that we can't do the things that we want to do. So another thing that you can do is you can ask the universe, what is my life's purpose? Now this takes practice, because some people will say if they're not used to meditating, they're not used to getting guidance, that they don't get anything at all. But I think that this is just, again, your ego getting in the way, because sometimes we're just afraid of what we're going to hear when we stop and do these exercises. So do this really quickly. Do a little exercise. I, first of all, would pray to Archangel Michael before you start to help you not be afraid to hear or see or know. Because I think sometimes when we meditate and we ask for guidance, we're kind of afraid of what we're going to get. So ask for courage from Archangel Michael, and then write your question down on the universe. What is my life's purpose? Write that down on a piece of paper, and then sit in stillness, focusing on your breathing. Ask the question, and then write what comes to you, whatever you get. And you may have to do it a few times. That's okay. I would do that. Another thing you can do is to ask your question before you go to bed, and ask for the answer to be given to you while you're sleeping. And keep that dream journal next to your bed, because when you wake up, you may realize suddenly, like in your dream, you may be a certain profession and think, that's it. That's exactly what I wanted to do. So keep a dream journal by your bed, and you can ask before you go to bed, what is my life's purpose? Whatever you do, don't stay stuck, okay? No one deserves to live a life where they are anything less than happy and ecstatic about what they do. So if that's not you, you need to take another look at what you're doing and how you can get to that point. One thing that you can definitely do is to work on yourself. Sometimes we don't know ourselves enough to know what it is we really want. And I have developed this program, this online course, A Purposeful Pilgrimage, for the purpose of helping you figure out what your purpose is and how to go after your dreams. It starts with so many things. It starts with how to nourish your body inside and out, because if we're not healthy and we're not taking care of ourselves, then it's going to be hard for us to really even know what we want, And the other thing is to focus on self-care. So I teach you in this program how to how to make self-care a part of your regular routine, because it is so important for you to put yourself first sometimes. We cannot fill anyone else's cup if ours is empty. And what is it they say when you're on the airplane? If you're sitting next to a small child, make sure you put your own oxygen mask on first before you put the child's oxygen mask on. And that's for a reason, right? Same thing in life. You've got to take care of yourself. I teach you how to get rid of limiting beliefs that are keeping you stuck. And I teach you how to tap into your intuition so you can get into what your life's purpose really is. When I've done these little meditations for myself, I always get what my purpose is. And I can teach you how to do that too. I can teach you how to have healthier relationships in life and how to set healthy boundaries for yourself. You are worth the investment and the time to make yourself happy. So go check out that program. Right now it's $88, but there's also a payment plan. I don't want anyone to be left out because of money. And I'm going to show you anyway how to get rid of those negative limiting beliefs about money and to start calling in more of it and more happiness and more abundance. And when you find your purpose in life, it's an incredible feeling. It's amazing. And more of us need to be finding our purpose. More people need to enjoy what they do in life. We're here for just a short time. Why spend it unhappy and miserable and feeling stuck? That's no way to live. And you don't deserve to live that way. You deserve the very best in life. So, I pulled a card for you today. And I'm going to get it to you. So this is again from the Teaching of Abraham Well-Being cards. It says, anything I can imagine being, doing, or having, I can be, do, or have. And this is so true, guys. Anything. Many people don't pursue their dreams because of fear. But you can do anything you want to do. You simply have to believe it. And believing in yourself is the first step. And so many people don't believe in themselves. You have to believe in you and know that it's true, that you deserve this and that you're capable, and you will then. So as you ask yourself why you want it, the essence of your desire is activated and the universe begins to bring it to you. It's as easy to create a castle as a button. So believe in yourself. You guys are worth it. Don't stay stuck. That's not necessary. Have the courage to change your life and to find your true purpose. Well, I hope that you guys are living your best life possible, but if not, you need to do the work because you are so worth it. You are worth the investment. If you guys are interested in Reiki, please go to my website. Also, if you have not done so yet, if you subscribe to my website, you will receive a free morning and evening meditation from me. So please go there and do that. Also, join me on my Facebook Lives Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Tuesdays are messages and readings. Wednesdays are guided meditations. And both days I will select live viewers for a free card reading. And I will also select people. If you can't be there live, just type replay or leave me a comment, replay and a comment in the video, and I will select a few lucky viewers for the replay to give readings for. So don't forget about that. And if you like this podcast, please share it with others. Please spread the light. Please leave reviews, comments, feedback. I love hearing it all, and I love connecting with my tribe. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. I'm sending you massive love and light. Take care.